Hey everyone, welcome back. So today, we're talking about something that's quickly turning into a full-on building craze across America, and that's data centers. Now, I know what you're thinking. What's so exciting about giant warehouses filled with computers? Well, when it comes to today's technology landscape, data centers are more than just big buildings. They're the backbone for all kinds of cutting-edge tech, especially AI. In fact, the US is seeing a massive rush to build data centers to keep up with our digital demands, especially with AI like ChatGPT, Google's AI tools, and even streaming. Just to give you an idea of the scale, it's estimated that by 2026, the US data center market will hit $100 billion, up from $60 billion in 2020. A huge chunk of that is driven by AI. Training a single large AI model like GPT can consume as much energy as an entire town uses in a year. The industry is also exploding in size. Virginia alone has over 200 data centers, mostly in Loudoun County, where nearly 70% of the world's internet traffic flows through each day. And it's not just Virginia. States like Texas and Arizona are ramping up data center investments because companies are pouring billions into these facilities. In the past year alone, Microsoft announced it would spend $1 billion to expand its data center footprint in Texas, and Meta is adding 11 new data centers across various states. With all these numbers climbing fast, states are in a fierce competition to become the next big data hub, offering big tax incentives and zoning benefits. So if you're wondering why everyone's in a race to build these data giants and how it might affect you, stick around. We know that data centers store data and keep our internet alive, but why the sudden surge in building them now? The answer is all about AI. AI is changing the game. It needs tons of data and even more computing power to work. Every time you use AI, it's like a massive brain working in the background. And that brain needs space to store data and power to think. To give you some perspective, when you interact with a tool like ChatGPT, it's pulling from a huge amount of data and doing a lot of calculations. That's not just happening on your device, it's happening in data centers. Training a single large AI model, for instance, can take as much energy as an entire town uses in a year. The more AI we use, the more data centers we need. The real estate gold rush for data centers. Let's talk real estate. Because this data center boom has turned into a real estate gold rush, data center developers are snatching up land in areas with cool climates, cheaper energy, and access to fast internet connections. They're targeting regions where land is cheap, the population is lower, and power can be sourced more affordably. Take Phoenix, Arizona, for example. It's become such a hotspot for data centers that it's been nicknamed the Silicon Desert. This land rush is actually driving up real estate prices as developers compete to grab land and build these huge facilities. But there's a reason why they're so picky. Cooling all these computers takes a ton of energy and water, so being in the right location is everything. Environmental impact. The big energy question. Here's where the story takes a turn. Data centers are amazing for tech, but they're also major consumers of electricity and water. In fact, US data centers use around 73 billion kilowatt hours of electricity per year. That's enough to power over 6 million homes. Imagine entire neighborhoods just to support these AI-powered data centers. And then there's water. A single data center can use hundreds of thousands of gallons of water per day just for cooling. This becomes a huge issue in areas like California, which already faces water shortages. As more data centers pop up, balancing our tech needs with environmental sustainability is becoming a real challenge. Why companies are choosing America for data centers? Ever wonder why so many of these data centers are being built in the US? There are a few reasons for that. First, the US has a solid infrastructure, reliable power grids, access to fast internet, and lots of open land. But it's not just about the basics. States like Virginia and Texas offer tax incentives to attract tech companies. In Virginia, data centers can get tax breaks that make it super cost-effective to build here. And let's not forget political stability. For companies investing billions, they need the security that their operations won't be disrupted by political or social turmoil. The US provides that stability, so it's seen as a safer bet compared to some other countries. Job creation. Data centers fueling local economies. Data centers might look like giant silent buildings, but they're actually creating a ton of jobs. Not just for tech engineers, but for construction workers, maintenance teams, electricians, and more. Building a data center isn't easy. It takes skilled labor to put together and maintain these facilities. Just last year, data centers contributed over 100,000 jobs in various roles across the US. In areas where new centers are being built, especially smaller towns. They're bringing in new economic opportunities. This has been especially important for rural areas that might not see other kinds of big tech investments. The future of data centers, edge computing, and the rise of 5G. So, what's next for data centers? Well, as more and more devices connect to the internet through things like the Internet of Things, IoT, and 5G networks, data centers are getting closer to users. This new trend is called edge computing, where data processing happens closer to where the data is actually used. It's like having a mini data center in every city. Imagine a future where self-driving cars need real-time data to avoid accidents, or smart cities where sensors help control traffic flow. These require data centers nearby to reduce something called latency, or the delay in data transfer. This means smaller, local data centers are popping up even in urban areas to keep things running smoothly and instantly. Challenges and controversies. What's the downside? With all this growth, there are bound to be some challenges. Besides energy and water use, there's the problem of obsolescence, meaning the technology inside data centers becomes outdated pretty fast. Companies are always trying to keep up with the latest tech, and that means constant upgrades or even full rebuilds. And then there's the issue of space. Some experts worry that we might eventually run out of places to build these data centers or the resources to power them. As demand for data keeps growing, we're facing questions about the long-term sustainability of this boom. Why this matters for you? The big picture. All right, so how does all of this affect you? First off, as these data centers continue to grow, we're likely to see faster, more reliable internet services. The boom also means companies are spending a lot to keep data affordable, which is good for users. Cheaper data storage means lower costs for cloud services, streaming, and even your favorite social media platforms. But there's a flip side. The environmental impact of this growth could lead to new regulations, especially around energy and water use. This could slow down how fast tech companies can keep expanding, and that might limit the speed of tech advancements in the future. Not to mention, with data centers becoming more common in towns, they're impacting local resources and even real estate prices. Why data centers are America's new frontier. So, there you have it. Data centers are quickly becoming America's new frontier, reshaping landscapes and redefining what it means to be a tech-driven society. As AI grows, data centers are becoming more essential than ever, and the impact is everywhere, from jobs to environmental concerns to our internet experiences. Data centers might seem like they're just for big tech companies, but they're quietly shaping our digital future and our communities. As more of these giants rise, the question becomes, how will we balance the need for all this technology with the demands of sustainability and community? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you learned something new about data centers today, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into how technology is reshaping our world. Drop a comment below. What are your thoughts on the data center boom? Is it worth the environmental trade-offs? Let us know, and we'll catch you in the next video.